Hey, what's up, and welcome to my corner of the internet. So, it's time to finally talk about an anime that I can't believe I've never made a video on. And let's just cut to the chase.
おうモブ待ってたぞ。
職員の次は中学生かバカにするの
Mob Psycho 100 is probably one of the best protagonists made in recent memory. Like, Mob Psycho 100 is probably the breath of fresh air that I just can't believe is not talked about as much. Or it's not, at least, I just feel it's underrated. I feel like it's a genuinely underrated shonen because what Mob Psycho teaches is probably one of the best universal transformations of what shonen as a genre should be. And of course, let's get to the chase of this. Mob Psycho is written by the same author that created One Punch Man. I think One Punch Man isn't really that interesting, but that's a video for another day. Mob Psycho 100 is one of those animes that I feel like had a statement and created something that was absolutely wonderful. I believe that Mob Psycho 100 is one of those animes that should be appreciated more and should be talked about so much more. I believe it stands out within the sea of anime because the consistent lessons, the animation is always fire, and a lot of the story is incredible, and you gain genuine advice about life from this anime. And it does it in such a great and interesting way that you feel like you're learning, and we have a main character that you genuinely fall in love with, and you wish for their wins and you cry for their sadness and you feel the emotional tides within their own life. And Mob, or Shieo Kageyama, I totally butchered that, but hey, I got close. This anime is greatness, genuinely. So our main character, Mob, or Kageyama, not even gonna try the first name, he is lacking in presence. He's not really interesting. He just is a mop head of genuine no muscles. He is pretty much of a loser in school, and no one's really interested in him until he decides to make changes for his own life. And that's where Mob Psycho does something incredible. When they are able to make us believe in a main character's goals, and Mob is so believable. His goal is to exercise more, to get muscles, where he literally has no talent, but he's an all-powerful Esper that can literally take over the entire world, and he was born that way. He is special by all definitions of the word, but you know what? Mob Psycho 100 teaches us just because you're born with talent does not mean you're great.
危ないよ。僕じゃなかったら怪我しちゃう。やめなよ。
お前だったら怪我しないっていうのか。僕の力を甘く見てんじゃねえ。
This is something that was decided for him, and it means nothing to him. He wants to get by on his own merit, his own personal agency. And that is one of the first themes of Mob Psycho 100, personal agency, your own choices. Mob Psycho talks about very often how difficult normal life is, and Mob oftentimes gets in a fight theologically and physically with people that want to be special, that want to be the rulers of the world, that are gifted something, but they feel as though that is their divine chosen right, stuff like that. And Mob's just like, normal life is so difficult. These people are outcasts by their own definition, and Mob again and again challenges himself with his own bravery to stick himself out there, and he is totally not good at physical work. Without his powers, oh my god, he is worse than children, and you see the growth throughout the entire series of him trying to become more than what he is and not to just have everything handed to him by his powers. And we see that wrestle within himself, and like his emotional state is tied in, and we see the wins that happen in this show feel like genuine wins that came from his own merit, his own hard work. This show produces so many gorgeous and beautiful moments that make you really want to go out there and try and live your life. Mob Psycho is a love letter to living your life and being a normal person trying their best out there. This show does so much for the human heart, and we have a protagonist that is special by all definitions. but he decides to go out there and try to do the things that are incredibly difficult.
藤子とも後ろについて走っていたその姿が俺たちに勇気を与えてくれるそれはこんな程度で俺
Mob Psycho always talks about personal agency, the difficulty of a normal life, and working hard and setting yourself out there. Like, this show does so many incredible things, and it's understated. It doesn't feel like we're being preached to, and so many characters are so notable. Like the person that Mob works with, and we understand him being a fake, even though he has these great moments of advice, and he's older and he goes through life trying to scam, but really he has a heart of gold and he's trying to work through his own processes. And Mob is just there supporting him and getting advice from him. And there's so many pieces of this story that I feel like isn't talked about. And I think maybe why Mob Psycho isn't loved as much, just my own thought, is because a lot of the concepts go over people's heads, I think Mob Psycho is a very intricately laid story because there's so many layers and a lot of the fights look so cool, but they're really just debates on philosophy. It's so many debates between each character and their own ideals, and Mob genuinely just wants to be himself. And let's not even talk about his brother. Mob may have the powers, but his brother has everything that Mob has wanted his entire life. But Mob's brother can't get over that. And he wants the powers, he wants to feel special, he wants all sorts of other things, and that jealousy is just boiling over inside of him, and it changes him as a character to the point where he even resents his brother for the normal path that he's choosing. But really, Mob is suffering, Mob is sweating, Mob is dying, Mob looks like he needs some milk every time he go outside. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, we have so many different characters that hold this jealousy and resentment towards Mob. But really, Mob just wants to be his own person and does not want to be dictated by something he did not decide. Because at the end of the day, you can be born with talent, but that does not have to dictate who you will be or who you are. This anime made me feel so incredibly beautiful as a human being because I have my own talents, I have my own personality, I have so many things that have been given to me while I was born, but the things that have rewarded me the most are the things that I worked hard for, the things that I pushed past every single difficulty, and I've come out better because of that. There's such great change within this anime, and we grow to love every piece of it. And I feel like Mob Psycho 100 is one of the best recommendations I could give to someone just now starting out in anime. It's generally the anime I feel like everyone should watch and be able to appreciate the shonen genre. Mob Psycho 100 is probably one of the best animes to come out in the last decade. And I genuinely mean that. So this is definitely my recommendation if you have heard of Mob Psycho or you haven't, or you're super psyched for the next season. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know how you feel. Like, what else did you get from Mob Psycho? Do you love Mob Psycho the same way I do? Anyway, let me know. Have a great day.